Day 5 of Aaron Rodgers watch. Woo! Oh, it's hard to keep the excitement going. Oh, it's really hard to keep the excitement going each and every day. Oh, okay. We have a couple things to start the show with. We'll do your comments. If you've been here, you know how this thing goes. We hang out, we wait for news. I don't expect news today, but I've expected news the last few days. So maybe now positive spin zone is when it's going to happen. Maybe. I don't know. First, let's go to this tweet from Tom Pelissero, which made me poop my pants. He says, despite a report to the contrary, the Packers and Jets have not agreed to the framework of an Aaron Rodgers trade per sources. Both sides continue to wait word from Rodgers on his plans. If he decides he wants to go to New York, then the teams will work to hammer out a deal. Well, all right. Well, that's one less thing that I thought was done. So I don't think this means it's over by any means necessary. I still hold firm that I think it's pretty much retire or the Jets. I think they would be able to get something done, but it's kind of crappy that the framework has not been linked. That was something that I was hoping was done already. And, well, that's just an extra wrinkle, so this might be taking a little bit longer than, well, what we might have anticipated. So this is never gonna end, but what I wanted to pull up next was, Laken Tomlinson got in on the fun. Tweets to Aaron Rodgers, "Shut up and take my money." So there we go. Is it happening or what, man? We're 3 minutes into the broadcast here. Oh God, we're 5 days in. Does anyone else have a headache? Is anyone else exhausted by this? I am. Let's go to the comments. Deal in place, says Daily Dukes. Apparently not. Any leaks on the deal parameters? No, because apparently one's not in place. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna keep waiting it. We're gonna keep waiting. V-Man, what's going on, dude? He says, my feel is it's done. Rodgers milking the media attention until free agency starts. Maybe. I don't know. Tom Pelissero's report says otherwise, but apparently not. Matt Curtis says, what's up? What's going on, Matt Curtis? He is a member of the channel. If you want to become a member of the channel, you can hit the join button down below. Sneakers to Boots is also a member of the channel. He says, have you gone outside yet? Thanks for keeping us entertained. I went to pick up the pizza yesterday. That's about all the outside that I've gotten since Tuesday, I think. I don't know. It's all starting to blend together. This time it's going slow and very fast at the same time. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but yeah, it's kind of like it. I don't know. I feel like I'm stuck in like a time, like a weird time right now. As Moose City says, day 5. What up? Matt O'Leary just turned into a spirit animal. Oh God. Owen says, Matt, there's gonna be one big mistake, and Aaron definitely won't do anything till at least Monday. Which part will? The live stream? I do feel like it's a mistake to hop on the live stream today. I'm exhausted. No, I'm just kidding. I love hanging out with you guys. Ryan was live earlier today. I was in his live stream for a little bit. I tried to get my mind off it. I watched some really like mediocre movie. It was oh my God. What Doesn't Kill Us came out from in 2008, or What Doesn't Kill You? No, What Doesn't Kill You. I apologize. Came out in 2008. It's with God knows. I don't know. It's like a Boston crime movie. It was all right. Ethan Hawke, Mark Ruffalo are in it. It was fine. We got a super chat. Let's get to Moose City. Appreciate the support from Moose City and the rest of the crew who's been hanging out with us the last few days. Worst case scenario, we don't get Rodgers. Who are you pivoting to? Great question. I would think Lamar Jackson would be who I would pivot to next. Offer him a contract. Offer him the Ravens the 2 first-round picks, and you go from there. This drop off after is pretty rough. Available quarterbacks. I forget who. There was a tweet I saw. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it. for available quarterbacks after Aaron Rodgers. I forget who retweeted it. Maybe it's Boy Green. I feel like the amount of content Boy Green gets out there, it makes my life easier trying to cultivate, these things. He probably did retweet it. So let me scroll down here. I don't see it. I don't see it. But nonetheless, I think I'd pivot to Lamar. Jimmy G scares me because of the injury history. And I know you could say, well, doesn't Lamar have the injury history? The last 2 years he's gotten banged up, but his ceiling is exponentially higher than Jimmy G's ceiling, even when he's healthy. So, yeah, I would say that's my pivot. Is your anxiety level at all time high? It's not good. I can tell you that. It's really not good. Actually, yeah, not the best. Jonathan Francois, we'll do his super chat, and then we'll play, in case you guys missed it, the video of Mark Murphy and his take on everything that's going on with Aaron Rodgers. There was a nice like 2 minute clip. It has over 1 million views. So Adriana Torres tweeted it out. She has like just over 2,000 followers, or almost 3,000 now. But the video has 1 million views, so good for her and great, reporting. Big spot there. Best case scenarios, we get Rodgers. What do you do? I go nuts. I pop the bottle. I got this bottle on Thursday. I've been sitting on it. It's not a very nice bottle of champagne. I mean, I like it. It's cheap champagne, but it does the trick. We pop the bottle in the stream. We have some fun. I don't know. We have a good time. I think this is still the most likely scenario to happen, but yeah, it's just the waiting game is so annoying. I think I'd be surprised if something happens this weekend. I feel like it's going to be Monday now. I've been pretty much in a pretzel ever since my original prediction that it would be Friday fell through. All right, so let's go full stream. Let's listen to this in case you haven't seen the clip, or if you have, we'll go through it together because I think there's a lot of interesting talking points from this.
I think, I mean, I can't get into all the details, but, it's a situation where I think we wanted to help Aaron achieve what he wanted as well as the Packers and hopefully, create a situation where it's kind of a win for both sides.
At this point, is it entirely up to Aaron Rodgers on what he wants to do? And then what has the communication been like the last few days and the last few weeks?
Yeah, we're still in discussions. I can't really get into a lot of the specifics.
Just 15 years ago, this Packers organization has been through something very similar with Brett Favre, even with the Jets involved in all of that. How strange has that been? And then what has this organization learned from 15 years ago now using in this year?
Yeah, well, obviously we're very fortunate to have back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And yeah, it was very early in my tenure, so I remember it very well with Brett's situation. And, it's kind of the happens in our game. Very few players play for only one team. And, obviously Brett had a great career. Aaron had a great career here. And regardless of what happens, Aaron will be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He'll be in our Hall of Fame, and we'll bring him back. He'll retire his number. And, but this is just one of the things that you go through as a team. And, again, we want to try to achieve something that's good for both Aaron and us.
Do you think that all of this will be resolved in the next few days? Of course, that March 15th New Year deadline is what everyone has in their back of their mind.
Yeah, I think ideally for everybody would be to have this resolved before the start of free agency in March 15th.
Does this Packers organization believe that Jordan Love could?
Okay, that's enough of that. I don't need to hear about Jordan Love, but March 15th, which is still 4 days from now, by the way. I don't know how we could do that. Another 4 days of this. But that might be a reality of the situation here. We might be doing this for another 4 days in a row, which again, I like hanging out with you guys. That's not, that's not my gripe. My gripe is I just want this to be done. Duncan says, has anyone checked on 24/7? That news might make him worse. Yeah, I can't imagine he's having a good time. I know that his power is out and he was over at the in-laws. So that's tricky. That's not the best of situations. Sneakers to boots. I think we keep McGovern average center, and the drop is big. I'd like to try and keep our O line together as much as possible. Rodgers or whoever we get at that point. I think you can make a very strong case both for and against keeping McGovern or moving on for Connor McGovern. Really, the big thing there, I think, is he is a fine starter. Now, do you want to stay and potentially pay more for a fine starter? Or would you rather try to go a different direction? Now, something that I think makes a lot of sense for this team is Ben Jones, who was cut by the Tennessee Titans. Now, if he doesn't retire, I think he would be a nice stopgap with someone who's drafted, sit behind Ben Jones for a year or two, and then get ready to potentially take over from there. But I thought he had a really nice season this past year. He does not allow very much pressures or sacks in his career. Let's pull up. I have his numbers from PFF. So let's do that. Let's pull up his numbers. Now I'm just going to minimize your comment, Sneaker to Boots, just so we can get the full screen on Ben Jones. 30. He's going to turn 34 in early July. 6'3", 308. He was drafted by Houston in the 4th round in 2012. He spent the last while here in Tennessee, but look at the things that I like about him is right here. 2 sacks in the last 3 years. He's a very, very good pass blocker. Plus, he already has that relationship with Todd Downing, who we know the Jets brought in as their offensive line coach. He's banged up a little bit this year at the end. It was concussion, but is someone who's played pretty regularly throughout the entirety of his career. He's been pretty good with that. And he's solid. Again, I think the biggest thing there is the lack of sacks that he's allowed. McGovern, I think, allowed 4 sacks last year. So this would be an upgrade, and 10 pressures versus 26 pressures. So 36 in the last 2 years. So let's do McGovern. Give me a second. It's going to take a second to get him up on here. McGovern. Yeah, he allowed 5 sacks and 24 pressures this year, 4 sacks last year, 19 pressures. 2021 was his best year with the Jets, I thought, anyway. And he's okay, but I think there's a world where you can do better there. So it wouldn't be the most it wouldn't be the craziest thing to move on with him, but I understand wanting to keep him as well. I get it. Did you guys see the Derek Carr quote that is going viral from today? I feel for the guy, but this would not have gone well. And again, I would have been okay with Derek Carr, but I can't promise wins, but I'll promise you a great effort. He's not wrong, but yeah, that's not going to be taken well, as you can see by the 870 quote tweets in the hour that it's been live. So this GIF is making me laugh. It is. He's not wrong, and I don't think it's a terrible thing to say, but that would not have gone over well. Yeah, probably, but if they win the Super Bowl, who cares? Ray says, Matt, funny thing is that next year we'll be back on this crap with Rodgers, wondering if he's coming back for a second season. You'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you, but if they go and win the Super Bowl this year, who cares? Do we believe the report that the trade has? Do we believe that the report that no trade has been agreed to? I guess so. Has Rossini chimed in? She's been the one who's been the best on this. Although I do like this tweet from Jamie Stewart, who I believe is with News 12 Long Island now, or Newsday. It used to be with News 12 Long Island. He says, I don't think the Jets are clearing cap all day just for the heck of it. That's true. I think they're prepping to get something going. But yeah, I wanted to see if Anna, she's tweeted anything about it, because she's been the best on this story by far, I think. Nothing. Her last tweet was from 19 hours ago. Phil says you need to get that bottle on ice. The ice is gonna melt at this point. The bottle for the champagne, the bottle's gonna melt. The ice is gonna melt, rather, not the bottle. Obviously, the bottle's not gonna melt. The ice is gonna melt because we're waiting for too long. Can you start a group of people that want to come on the show and pop a drink / shot with you and Rodgers signs? Yeah, maybe we'll do that. We could figure out a way to do that on the stream. Why not? I'll take a swig of the champagne. You guys do a shot or whatever you want to do. Talk for a second. Go to the next guy. City Bert says, "Imagine this guy negotiating with Joe Douglas." Yeah, I see. That's why I'm confident that when a trade, or if and when a trade is ready to go, that Joe Douglas is going to be able to pull the trigger and get something done. I don't know, but I think there's a very good chance that they're going to be able to get something done, and at reasonable cost. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy. Good question from Famous Jay. What about Jake Brendel from San Francisco? He hasn't. The thing with Brendel is he hasn't played a ton in his career. I believe this was his first year as a starter. Correct me if I'm wrong. Come on. I'm trying to bring up Pro Football Reference now, and it's incredibly slow. I don't know why. For some reason, that site sometimes just doesn't want to go. All right, maybe will you look? I'll share that. This is what Pro Football References give me. Appreciate it. All right, so we'll do it on PFF. That's fine. We can make that work. I'm not sold that he's the answer here. This is really the only time that he's played significant snaps. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, PFF loaded nice and quick. So this is the only time that he's played full snaps. I mean, over 1,000, which is good for him, but 176, 67, 1. He was solid. One sack allowed, 9 hurries, just 12 pressures. Run blocking seems to just be okay, but I don't know how comfortable, and what's his age? He's 30 and only has 1 year of starting under his belt. I feel like that's probably down a little bit on the pecking order for me, I would say, in terms of options for the Jets. Let's spike Aaron's ayahuasca if he doesn't come to the Jet. I invited him on a lovely Long Island ayahuasca trip. He has not gotten back to me on that, but I would have loved that with Aaron. Get him. It was the church. I want to find the exact name of this thing because it looked phenomenal. Here, oh yeah, here we go. Look at this. Let's pull this up. This is what I wanted to do with Aaron. Look at this. March 17th, right on St. Patrick's Day. I'd cancel my Boston trip. We'd go to the medicine ceremony, right in the lovely Huntington, Long Island. Lodging, organic meals, Cambo tea ceremony, whatever that is, sound yoga, energy and integration. This is it. The Church of Natural Law. Look how awesome that looks. That's a human. Oh no, that's not a human zunk. This guy's living the dream over here. He don't know what planet he's on. This guy's staring at a painting on the wall. It looks great. That's where I want to be with these people and Aaron Rodgers. Buffalo Jet fan is in here with us. What's going on, Buffalo? Already going to have a green bean beard by the end of this. Oh yeah, O'Leary going to have a green bean beard by the end of this. I think so. My hair is going to start falling out or just turn gray. It's stressful times. We're just sitting here. We're waiting around for this thing to come through, waiting for any sort of information that we could possibly grasp onto. Is the plan. Obviously, people are taking the news that we just popped up there well. But we wait, and we wait together. I appreciate it, Buffalo Jet. Thank you for the support as always. Zachary says, would you rather be asleep and miss everything until AR traded or stay awake and wait like we are all doing? I guess stay awake. But waking up to that, imagine like this morning, every morning I check my phone when I wake up, like with the hopes that there's a million messages, notifications out, out the wazoo, all that stuff. But no, we are waiting. It'd be cool for something to break on while we're live, but I've lost faith in that happening. I have no idea. Although Monday we're doing a stream for free agency, so maybe we'll get the news and free agent signings over that time. Speaking of Buffalo Jet, who just popped in here with a super chat, I want to pull up his tweet. His Twitter feed is phenomenal. It usually makes me laugh. But he says 0% chance they don't have a general idea of compensation. Miss me with this BS. Yeah, I think they have. Like I said, I think they have a general idea. Now, maybe it's not like a handshake agreement kind of a thing. Maybe that's what Tom Pelissero means. But I'd imagine you have a pretty good idea what's going to happen, right? Really? Kane Smith says, Matt, did you see that Alan Lazard liked a tweet by Zach Rosenblatt? The Jets and package deals. I like Alan Lazard. I'd be good with that. Let's pull him up. Oh yeah, he did. Look at this. Well, actually, let me back out. Liked by Alan Lazard. The tweet. Sauce Gardner on a stream with Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall sitting next to him that if Aaron comes to New York, it's package deals all over. I can't tell you who, but just know. I would like that. I'd be a fan. Oh, good question from Jonathan Francois. What Jets YouTuber will be live when it happens, though? I feel like if it can't be me, I would really like it for Green Bean to be live because I feel like that would be the funniest one person for it to happen to because the chat would be going absolutely bananas and he wouldn't realize. Like Jeremy in like the back chat would be like, Green Bean, it came through. And then it would take him like a couple minutes to realize. So I would say Green Bean, just out of pure entertainment. I would love for it to be me. Buffalo Jet fan would be I mean any of us would be fantastic, but I think my favorite would be if Green Bean was live for when it happened, just because I think his reaction would be the funniest. Good question from Moose City. Free agency starts Monday or Wednesday? So technically Wednesday, but the legal tampering period starts on Monday. So you'll start to get some information leaks starting Monday at noon, but technically it's Wednesday. It's a little weird how they do it like that, but yeah, it's technically Wednesday. Moose City says, well, I'll tell you when it's going to happen. It's Tuesday on the McAfee show. I don't want to wait that long to Tuesday on the McAfee show. If he pops on that show, that's definitely too long for me to be sitting around waiting. Famous J says have all the YouTubers on at the same time. It's just all of us, right? Just 24/7. I can't do that. I would love to. I just don't have the mental capacity for that. This is even a lot. Everything that we've been doing right now. Mike D's Life. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, how do we feel about the Jets being the talk of the NFL world and the expectations that will follow? This free agency will be wild. I agree. I think it's awesome. The Jets are normally the league's punching bag. Too many times they are the butt of the joke. They haven't made the playoffs in 12 years. I think it's fantastic that the Jets will be the talk of free agency. Honestly, I really do. I think it's a great thing for this organization, and it's about damn time that they have expectations. Too many times it's like, oh, well, going into this past year, if they win 7 games, I'll be happy. 6 or 7 games, take a step forward in the right direction. Playoffs. Have to make the playoffs, compete for the division, compete for a Super Bowl. It's time. It's going to be awesome. Well deserved for sure. Thanks again, Mike. Appreciate it. City Burt says prediction of A-Rod stats in 2023 with the Jets. Ooh, I like this one. Okay. So let's Can I pull up his numbers for a reference point? Because I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, the 48 touchdown, 5 interception season. But I want to see what he did this past year and then what he's done in other years and kind of do it like that. All right. So let's go. Scroll this down a touch. Okay. So in his MVP year, almost 4,300 yards, 4,100 yards in 16 games. So I'll go. This year is obviously a down year, 64.6 completion, just about 3,700 yards, 3,695, 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Okay. I'll go 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns flat, 8 interceptions, something like that. Yards per attempt definitely over in the mid sevens, not 8.2 or 7.7, but maybe like 7.4, somewhere around that range. That sounds about right. Yeah, so I'll say 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns, 8 picks, something like that. So what is 4,100 yards over 17 games is how many yards per game? 241 on average? Yeah, I think that sounds about right. A solid rating, rating above 91, upper 90s rating, maybe low 100s on the rating. And a completion percentage, maybe not 68.9, definitely higher than 66% completion, somewhere like that. She says the last 2 teams who did this won Super Bowls. Reasonable to have high expectations. Yeah. It worked for the Rams. It worked for the Bucks. It worked for who else did it work for? The Broncos with Peyton Manning, even though that was a signing, but you guys know what I mean there. This is a funny one. I wonder if anyone lost their relationship over this AR waiting. LOL. Thankfully, this is also my girlfriend's busy season. She is a CPA accountant, and her client files in 2 weeks. So she is working crazy hours. So we were able to we did a date night last night, which was good. We just pizza at home, not anything crazy, but yeah, I'm sure if things were normal right now, I'm sure she wouldn't be happy, but not lose relationship over. But that's funny. It probably is. Okay. Zachary Berner's predictions. Let's do this. I see a few predictions in here. 34 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 4,200 yards. That sounds pretty good. Kane Smith says 31 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 3,800 yards. Okay. I'd be a little disappointed if it's at 3,800 yards. I would hope that'd be a little bit more. Jeremy Crowder, no bandwagons allowed. You must show receipts. LOL. I get it. There are going to be people who jump back on the bandwagon, and that's one of the benefits. But look, for those Jet fans that have been through it all, it'll feel that much sweeter for that. I like Tigo's prediction: 8,000 yards, 100 touchdowns, negative 10 interceptions, 12 rushing touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He'll play safety for us and 6 sacks. The God. Is AR messing with your Monday mock plans? Yep. He absolutely is messing with them. Usually every Monday I do a mock. My free agency stuff I've finally, I think, finished my free agency research. So I'll probably have that video out tomorrow before going live. Now, usually I live stream on Sundays in the evening. So it probably isn't going to be the 2-hour, 2:30 in the afternoon live stream tomorrow. It'd probably be for like an hour or a little over an hour, around 7. But in the morning, my plan is to get some sort of free agency preview out there. But even that's hard because we don't know. Sneakers 2 Boots. What's going on, my friend? Thank you again for the super chat. It says, which is worst? The being live for the Aaron Rodgers watch each day and the unknown, or the 3 days live for the draft? I like trading down if OT are gone. I like doing all of it. I am very tired now at this point, and by day 3 of the draft, I am exhausted also. I think day 3 of the draft is worse, especially because the last few years, like last year in particular, the Jets did not have a pick after round 4. So rounds 5, 6, and 7, it was kind of like, all right, like now what? You know what I mean? So this year will be a little bit easier. If the 3 offensive tackles are gone, you trade down. Okay, I can get behind that. I would take any of those 3 guys, but I don't. And I think one of them will be there. Sorry, I just got a notification on my phone and freaked out. Um, oh, it's a meme. There we go. That's perfect. We could pop that up. Why not? Let's pop that up on the screen. I was tagged in it from UK and Ireland Jet fans. Pop that up on the screen. Please hold.
Where Ron? Where are you? Where is Ron right now? No Ron, huh? Well, you better be sick, dead, or mute, Ron.
Ron, you better be sick, dead, or mute. Oh, goodness gracious. Hope there's a good pizza place near you. Yeah, we got from oh god, what's the name of Parmigiani in Rockville Center is where we got the pizza from. It's pretty good. Kane says I see 3,800 because Hackett wants to run the ball a lot. Okay. That's fair. Yeah, there's a good one. Still lots of draft research to do. I am way behind on my draft stuff where I usually am. Number one, because the Jets don't have 2 first-round picks, so not as invested there. And number 2, the focus has been on the quarterback search, really more so than ever. So that's part of the reason why I have a pretty good idea of guys that I really like, but I want to dive in a little bit more. And there are some other guys that I would like to get into as well. Oh, good one. Out of the 3, what do you want the most? Jets Super Bowl, Isles Cup, or Mets World Series? For me, it's definitely Jets Super Bowl. I want all 3 of those things to happen, obviously, but that would mean the most just because I'm the most invested in them, both from doing this and just the relationships I have with different people in my life who are Jet fans. It would mean the most to me if the Jets won. Yeah, I love all my teams, so obviously I want them all to win, and I haven't been alive for any of their championships, so it's been tough, but I would say the Jets Super Bowl would be the most meaningful one. G says, think Clark is replacing Whitehead or Joyner. Now, I think he's better suited as a box safety, which is kind of what Joyner does. So I would say he should replace Joyner, but it's not a guarantee that he does. Excuse me. I think he should replace Whitehead, but it's not a guarantee that he does. He could be the Joyner replacement, and they run with both Whitehead and Joyner. But you could free up $7 million by cutting Jordan Whitehead. I think I would do that and have Chuck Clark, who's significantly cheaper this year, and I think a better player, to be honest with you, play that position, and you find a free safety elsewhere, either in free agency or the NFL draft. Chrome says, imagine if Sauce, Brees, and Garrett are live streaming when the news breaks. That would be epic. I was rooting for that the other day when they were live. I popped in there, was hoping that that we will see it. Let's move on down to another super chat from Mike D's Life. With our guys back healthy, the draft and the guys that will come in free agency, we might be downright scary. Way better than the Rex days. Yeah, the Rex days were built on a lot of the Mangini and Tannenbaum guys, and then Rex got the most out of them coaching. But you're right. I definitely think that they could have the potential highest ceiling because in 2010 they won 11 games. I think with Rodgers, they should be expected to win 11 or 12 games with Aaron Rodgers. So that would be the best team that I've ever seen. Again, I was talking, I think yesterday or the day before on here, that the 98 team, I was a little too young for that. So that was a 12-win season, arguably the best in franchise history other than the 1968 season. So that one has to be very highly regarded, but you're right. This defense has the chance to be elite, which that era Jets defense was. But their offense was definitely lacking behind, and an Aaron Rodgers led Jets offense could be a top 10 offense, which obviously that makes all the difference in the world then. Yeah, I agree with this comment from Sneakers to Boots. Whitehead doesn't know how to wrap up and tackle. His that's the biggest thing with him, is his tackling, unfortunately. We'll bring up Whitehead's numbers and I'll show you the missed tackle rate is just way, way, way too high. Way too high. And that's one of his biggest issues. That's one of his biggest struggles because he can make plays and he has those highlight reel moments with a big pop or something like that, but he just way too many tackles. Let's pull it up. I'm gonna minimize you for a second, sneakers to Boots, so that we can get this up on the screen. I'm gonna be covering it too, even kind of. So the missed tackle percentage is over here, 15.6%, 17 missed tackles, 15 the year before, double digit missed tackles every single year. 15.6% is way too high. But if you look at Chuck Clark, he was 6%. Yeah, 6.6%. Since he's been a regular player, which he wasn't in 2018. So 2019 was his worst missed tackle rate, which is 11.4, which is 8 missed tackles. 6.6 is really good. And so is 5-1. That's incredible. That's going to make a huge difference for this Jets team. To be honest with you, it really is. Richard says, do you think other players involved in this trade as reported? I don't think so. I think it's just going to be Rodgers. I don't think the Jets are sending players the other way. I think it'll just be picks. Second this year, a conditional pick next year. There we go. Alexa says, my daughter Ariana, who is 9 years old and is a big Jets fan, and I can't wait to see a Super Bowl with her. That's the dream right there. See a Super Bowl with your kid. Have that nice moment, father-daughter moment. That's awesome. That's what it's all about right there. I can't wait. Hopefully you guys get that moment this year. There we go. Only 8 more likes to reach 100. Let's do it. What's behind the blue curtain? My bed. I do this all in my room. Not that exciting. My bed. I just think it looks weird if you see the bed there. So I do have a no, I don't have it up. But my logo, the Matt O'Leary NY logo, I have like a little step-in release of that I wanted to put up, but it's too big. So when I get my new space, which is hopefully happening at some point later this year, then that will be set up. Dave says, I love when we get Ravens players. There we go. Yeah. The Ravens are a very well-run organization. So, it worked. I get some off the top of your head. Jim Leonard, right? And Bart Scott. Ed Reed, way later. Way later. But yeah, there's some good former Ravens that ended up becoming Jets, and it worked. It worked out well. I'm sorry to hear that, Ethan. He says, yeah, my dad passed away last year. Dude was the biggest Jet fan ever. If we ever go to the Super Bowl, I'm getting 2 tickets. That's nice, Ethan. That's awesome. Josh says, my brother-in-law is a diehard Ravens fan, and he is upset they traded away Clark. Yeah, I mean, they kind of have a surplus at that position now. They drafted Kyle Hamilton in the first round last year. They signed Marcus Williams for big money, so it kind of makes sense why they were moving on from him. But he's a good player. He's solid. He's going to be an upgrade over what the Jets were dealing with at that position this past year. Lachey Doozable had a nice tweet. We're gonna pull this up because it's accurate. It's accurate AF right now. Jet Nation, how nervous are you? Very. And look what his T-Go right in there. Me nervous, not a chance. I'm fine, he says. Yeah, we're a little nervous. A little nervous right now. Oh, Derek Mason was not a good former Raven. That's a good one. Good call out, Trey. Derek Mason was not a good former Raven to come to the New York Jets. Sneakers to boots. Matt, don't think about the traffic. You'll be sitting in back to Long Island on opening day with Rodgers at quarterback and a win. You know it'd be worth it. That's true. Oh, I'm making it out to opening day. We usually do something, myself, Green Bean, Ryan, a whole bunch of other creators. We all get together on opening day. So yeah, I'll be there. I'll be smiling ear to ear when the Jets drop 50 on the poor Texans, something like that. It would be worth it after a win. Getting sunburned and blown out when Zach Wilson threw 4 touchdowns, not worth it. That was a 4-hour ride home. Last year in the rain, we stayed over, so that wasn't as bad, but this year will be much better. I have no one has a good call out here. Good point. CJ Mosley came for the Ravens. That's true. He also did. I forgot about CJ Mosley. He's probably one of the more recent ones in addition to Chuck Clark. Richard says, if we keep the first pick, should we pick a Smith and Jigba? Offense would be crazy. I would prefer to go offensive line. That'd be fun. I would totally admit that would be a very fun offense. But if we keep the first round pick and draft wide receiver, that'd be a ton of fun. I would go offensive tackle, though. Personal preference. Cut Mosley inside Edmonds. I don't think they're going to do that. I'd be very surprised if they did that. They like him a lot. He's the leader of that defense. James said, still hoping to see Lamar in a Jets jersey. Maybe. If things go south, that's probably the next plan. The photoshops of him in the Jets jerseys do look good. I will say that. Again, see, this is what I'm talking about. Buffalo Jet fan, he makes me laugh. His tweet, dude, if the Jets pull this off, there will be bandwagon Jet fans. Wow, picks in your Corvette jersey or you don't count. Oh, God, he kills me. That's great. Phil Adams says Hall of Fame game, Matt. Absolutely. Yep. I will be in attendance. I have my tickets for the Hall of Fame ceremony. I don't did the tickets go? I don't think the tickets went on sale for the actual game itself, but I will be there. I have my hotel reservation. I will be there in Ohio, and hopefully you guys are too. I would love to run into people, hang out. I want to bring my camera and my microphone and do some man on the street stuff, do some interviews, ask some questions. I think it'll be a whole lot of fun. I can't wait. Hopefully I'll see you there, Phil. Pat Dunn. Breaking. Sources tell me that Aaron Rodgers could make a decision at some point. The Packers may have a deal in place with the Jets who think they will land the future Hall of Fame quarterback at some point. That's literally it right now, Pat. That's it. It's a maybe, possibly, they could be, we hope, it appears, all these words that don't actually mean anything. That's great. Thank you. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Johnny, what's up, man? He says, "Hey, Matt, hope your day is going great, brother. Do you think it's time to have the Lamar combo? If they are officially out, if the Jets find out they are out on the Aaron Rodgers running, then I think that's the pivot move. I do. I'm not ready to jump ship on it yet. I think this is still likely to happen. But if for whatever reason he retires, or the very, very slim chance he goes back to Green Bay, which I don't think is happening, then I think you pivot to Lamar. Absolutely." Josh, I am a big DeMarvion Overshown fan for his coverage skills. I 1000% agree with you. I would love for the Jets to draft him in the 3rd or 4th round. Alex says top-notch journalism. Hard-nosed journalism. That's great. Dom C, he's got his tickets for the Hall of Fame ceremony. So I'll see Dom C there. Green Bean, I'm pretty sure, is going. Dave from New Brunswick. As a former Jet scout, I believe the Jets want Rodgers. Oh, you guys crack me up. Honestly, you really do. So what's your thoughts on a Tannehill, White, Wilson quarterback room? Seems more likely than Rodgers at this point. That sounds awful. That sounds like I'd have to make myself a nice bleach cocktail if that's what it ends up coming to. Not really, guys. That was just a joke. But that would be really depressing after the hopes we've gotten ourselves up to. And honestly, Tennessee seems pretty dead set on bringing him back. The safe way to go was Carr. I don't disagree that was a safe option. Now, Carr made some headlines for the wrong reason today, and I personally would not kill him over this comment, but it wasn't great. Where the hell was the quote? It was from John Hendricks. Come on now. He deleted it. That's why. He deleted it. Boo. Boo that man. Boo. He basically said, I can't guarantee wins, but I'm going to give you the best effort I can. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. You are right. Tom Pelissero did have that one out about an hour ago. So I'll pop that back up on the screen. Despite a report to the contrary, Packers and Jets have not agreed to the framework of an Aaron Rodgers trade. Both sides continue to wait from Rodgers on his plans. If he decides he wants to go to New York, then the teams will work to hammer out a deal. I think they already have the parameters of one, though. It might not be like an official handshake, but I think they have a pretty good idea where both the guys stand. As a former Jet scout, I think Douglas is bald. Anthony S says, if not Rodgers, it's going to be Jimmy G. That's kind of depressing, but I could see that. You just got to pray he stays healthy. And the issue, too, is Kyle Shanahan's not coming with him. What is he going to look like away from Kyle Shanahan? I'm not going to lie. I would have a lot of fun if we went with White. Not thrilled, but you can't deny it would be fun. It would be fun, and then he'd probably get hurt. The amount of time that he's missed is downright. Oh, nope. There's an Ian Rappaport notification, but not a Juwan Johnson re-signed. There we go. Thank you, Ian Rappaport, for that one. I'd rather go Jimmy G than Tannehill. I agree. I would probably go Jimmy G before Tannehill. I am afraid of Jimmy G's injury history. That's all. Paul Hackett going to coach Lamar? No, but Nathaniel Hackett might. Great YouTube by a Green Bay fan, Tom Grossi. Fun watch. All right, I'm going to have to check that out. I don't think I've ever seen his stuff before, but I will have to check that out. Oh, look at this. I apologize. I feel like I'm stalking him, but honestly, I'm just refreshing Twitter and his tweets keep coming up. Look at the Buffalo Jet fans' new studio. A little upgrade there. Looks gorgeous. We got a little kettlebell. I love the on air and the Jets cap. A football. The little green light in the background. The desktop light looks sick. Shout out Buffalo Jet fan. He's a good one. He's a good egg. How many current Jets are left to re-sign? Thanks, Matt. Good question. Let's pull up the Jets pending free agents. They have a lot. 25. We can go through who would we bring back. George Fant? No, I don't think you're bringing him back. Connor McGovern is a maybe. Sheldon Rankins, I definitely think is a candidate to come back. What's his market value listed as? Is this going to open up in a new tab or is it going to give me 7.3? Okay. I'd probably bring him back for around that $7 million mark. Flacco, goodbye. Dan Feeney, adios. Greg Zerloin, please bring back. LaMarcus Joyner, you let go. Mike White, you potentially bring back as a backup. I think he's going to hit the open market, though, and get some cash. Herbig, I would be interested in bringing back for depth. Solomon Thomas, see you later. Quan Alexander, I would bring back, but I don't think the Jets are going to. Vinny Curry's gone. Bouye, maybe. Remmer's gone. Shepard, maybe. I don't know who Isaiah Mack is, if we're being honest. Bawden, Sanat, Rodney Adams, Quincy Williams probably is back. Jeff Smith's probably gone. Bryce Huff, you definitely bring back. James Robinson's gone. Ty Johnson is a maybe, and Marcel Harris is a maybe also. Thank you for the love. Matt and Ryan, you guys do a great job on what you do on here. Thank you. We got a Packers fan who's been hanging out with us. I appreciate the support there. Mojo Jet says, God created the heavens and the earth faster than Rodgers takes to make a decision. Yeah, just flip a coin at this point, man. You had your darkness retreat. We gotta know. There we go. We got people clipping the show. Good stuff. The nice little clip here. Let's pop that up with some sound action. Can you start a group of people that want to come on the show and pop a drink / shot with you and Roger signs? Yeah, maybe we'll do that. We could figure out a way to do that on the stream. Why not? I'll take a swig of the champagne. You guys do a shot or whatever you want to do. Talk for a second. Go to the next guy. I love it. Thanks for the love. Oh, we got a super chat. Let's move on down. A super sticker, actually. I apologize. Michael Porumba sends a super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Pop that up on the screen. There he is. Thank you for the clip. I will gladly be popping champagne with you. It's about a month of thinking so far. You're not wrong. It's only a month. That's not that much time, right? Elon will have flying cars before Rodgers makes his decision. Probably. At this rate, probably. As crazy as that sounds, you are probably right with that. Outside of O-line, safety, and linebacker, what are you targeting in the draft? Interior defensive line, center, potentially wide receiver. I would say those would be the positions that I'm gonna take these headphones off. They're bothering my ears. Taking them off. What's the difference? Yeah, those would be the positions that I would target outside of O-line, safety, linebacker. Some will say punter, but just sign somebody, a UDFA or a free agent. There's a few that I like. Funny enough, when part of my free agency preview is going to include punter. Dano, best way to be notified when AR signs if I'm asleep. I guess when you wake up the next morning, does an alarm go off? Can we get a way that an alarm goes off for that, but for only Aaron Rodgers? Like, can we trigger it so that it's that's the case, that it's going to be only tweets regarding Aaron Rodgers send through and an alarm goes off? Hennessy says you would think Rodgers was in a dark room this week. Yeah, you would. I mean, that meeting feels like a year ago, between the Jets and Woody Johnson. If it was like forever ago. Ray, thank you. Says smash the like button. Salute Matt in the chat. Thanks for hanging with us. John, I like this one. This is how they should break the news. Attention, number 12 is back in the building. Oh, it's going to be over under 9.5 Shefty note. It's going to be a bunch. It's going to be like breaking Jets acquire Aaron Rodgers, blah, blah, blah. And then it's going to tweet. It's going to be a ton. Did you see the Mikey Bear down? Yeah, I did. I have no idea who that is and if he is reliable in any way, shape, or form. He is a YouTuber, I believe. Let's pop it up. Hearing rumblings out of East Rutherford from a very reliable source that, in addition to Aaron Rodgers, who the Jets consider virtually a done deal, is going to be a major game-changing piece added as well. I would like to think that's the case, but I have no idea the legitimacy of that guy. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with his work. G Money, you're speaking my language, man. Let's run 69 back. Jets, Mets, Knicks, and Islanders for you, Matt. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, I'm not. I've said it on the stream and on here before. I'm not a basketball fan. I don't have a team, but I do think it would be sick for the city to get the Knicks to win. It's cool. I mean, they just went on this incredible hot streak, and the city is buzzing. The fans are going nuts. They're a long suffering fan base too. So I have no dog in the fight. I think it'd be great. I'd probably be that bandwagon Knicks fan. Not really a bandwagon, but I would watch. I'd be interested. I'm not going to celebrate it as my own championship, but that'd be awesome. Could you imagine that? Jets, Mets, Knicks, Islanders. Bring New York back. Let's go. Matthew asked Lamar if no Rodgers. Yeah, that's what I would do. Now, what's the likelihood of that? I don't know. I think the Jets would probably pivot to I think they'd probably pivot to Jimmy at that point. Carmelo says my wife gets dressed quicker than it takes for Rodgers to make a decision. You guys crack me up. You really do. As a former Jets equipment cleaner, inside news that Rodgers takes forever to decide. Breaking news. Aaron Rodgers takes freaking forever in order to find this stuff out. Yeah, I wanted to see. I think do we have any new Mekhi Becton tweets today? He's such a vibe on Twitter. Oh, we have a Mekhi waiting tweet. Look at him. Yeah, that's what it feels like right now. Just sitting around, waiting, swinging, head in the mud. Where's his workout pic? Did he not work out today? No, maybe not. Anyway. Would you prefer if Aaron wore number 12 or another number? I think 12 would be cool. Just have Joe Namath passing along the number to him. I could also see 8, but I think passing along the 12 would be really cool. Oh my God, could you imagine? Take number 2. Zach Wilson has to switch numbers. That's evil. Give Zach Wilson number 19. Be like, you've been you've been now given the ugly number 19. Camille says Rodgers better not take Namath's number. He needs to respect the number. Yeah, I could see that too. And I respect people who say that. I understand where they're coming from on that. I think it would be cool if they had the passing of the torch kind of ceremony and maybe like, hey, that's what they need to break their curse. It's a quarterback in number 12. The fact it's taking this long for Rodgers to decide says he's not sold on the Jets. I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe you are right, but I'm not positive that that's the reality here. That like that's why it's happening. I think this is just how he is. We knew this going into it. Free agency, which I don't know if you want to say that's Monday or Wednesday, but that's the deadline. Is going to be free agency. Just got divorced. Think I may remarry before Rodgers makes his decision. Ouch, Daniel. Ouch. That hurts. Joshua says Aaron will break the news. How? On Twitter? Or is he going to go on McAfee and do it? Jets trying to work out the final condition of the trade. Matt getting down on one knee. If that's what it would take, I would do it in a second. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would do that for you guys. For us, for all of us. That's really funny. I don't think my girlfriend would like that for that being the reason, but that'd be phenomenal content. Mojo. Rodgers is like my wife at Beth and Body Works taking her time smelling every damn bottle of lotion. Yeah. I don't know. Why do you have I went with Taylor to go pick out. She wanted a new perfume, and we went to Sephora, maybe one of those kinds of places, to smell every single perfume that this place had. Everyone. Then you had a list of like 5 that you liked, and you'll narrow that down to 3, and then a final 2. And it's this one or this one. I'm like, I don't know. I would have went in, saw the first one, spray it. If I like it, then there we go. Take me 5 minutes. Number 19 was Johnny Unitas' number. That is true, but I don't think it looks aesthetically good on a jersey. I think Joe Flacco and number 19 look goofy as hell. Like this looks. Tell me this is not just that doesn't look good. That just looks gross to me. Now Joe Flacco in 5, obviously Mike White wears 5 now, but that is a much better looking. Even in here, that looks a hell of a lot better. 19, yuck. Quarterback to wear 9. Who other quarterback number 19? Has there ever been one to pull that off? Yeah, see, here we go. This is also gross. John Skelton wore 19 for Arizona. Yuck. Skylar Thompson. Yuck. Johnny Unitas, different era. We can let that one fly. But number 19 as a quarterback, I think is not it. Number 19 is just a weird number. I don't think it's an aesthetically a pleasing number for me. Just personal preference, but I don't like it. Maybe like, I don't know, single digit number, 10, 12, 14, even 18's okay. 17 I like. 16's even a little bit weird. I don't love 16. Matt says there are 2 number 11s hanging in the garden. There you go. That's true. right? Messier and who's the Knicks 11? That's gonna be bad. Number 11 was. Oh no, maybe it wasn't Knicks. We do MSG retired jerseys. I'm embarrassed that I don't know this one. Yeah, I'm right with Messier. Who's the other number 11? There's 215. Oh, that's what it is. There's two number 15s. Knicks retired numbers. Wire and Monroe. I think that's what we're thinking of. This one takes the cake. Vernon Golson will get his first sack before Rodgers makes his decision. Probably. What a whiff that was. Holy smokes. That was not good. Look at this. We got Jake Asman out here recruiting. Good on Jake Asman. Oh, nope. Wrong tab. Please hold. We're still on the Knicks retired numbers. At Aaron Rodgers. Perfect. Doing his thing. I mean, this is true. If we're being honest, yeah, it is true. I think it's tough for a guy that spent most of his adult life with one organization to decide if he wants to play another. I definitely think that's true. Gritty on. I don't really know how to gritty, but like, we're definitely popping the bottles. Really, that'll be 5 p.m. today. I am going to dinner tonight, so that would be very on brand. That I've had this in the works for a few weeks, and then be like, oh nope, can't go. Sorry. Let's go down to the super chat. Anthony says, I will unvaccinate myself for Rodgers if that's what it takes to end this today. Andy, thank you for taking one for the team. Thank you for taking one for the team. That's really funny. Aaron, what caused you to decide Jake Asman's tweet? Yup. That was it. That's the one that did it. There we go. You guys kill me. Hey, Jets Chaos. What's going on, man? Glad you made it all safe and sound over there. Carmelo says, what happens at the draft if a player on the team already has a number one jersey? They just give the number. They just show up they'll hold up the number one because it's a first round pick. Good question, but yeah, they just pop up the number. Comment says no announcement this week. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so either. Looking more likely Rodgers doesn't make a decision till June. It can't go that long, man. It can't go that long. Now, to be fair, I thought it would be over by yesterday. So who the hell knows? Take my word with a grain of salt, but they can't have it go on that load. Mims receiving touchdown before Rodgers signs, maybe. I would say a solid maybe. That's there's a chance that one happens. I still can't believe Denzel Mims doesn't have a touchdown. That's kind of upsetting. I loved him coming out of the draft. I really did. What else we got? Oh, Johnny D. Here we go. He's talking about his Devils. New Jersey Devils making the playoffs after 10 whole years. Let's go. Yeah, they've been a fun story this year. They're a good team. That first round matchup against the Rangers is going to be a good one. Favorite Jets uniform of all time? Good question, Vincent. I would say the 80s jerseys with this logo. Hang on, there we go. This logo with the white face mask. Let's do like Jets 1980s. Yeah, something like that. Let's pop that up. Bang. That's gorgeous. That's a good look. See, The 90s, I like that logo still. I just don't like the black face mask as much, nor do I really like this color green as much as I like the older style with the green and the white face mask. Yeah, here we go. That's a really nice look. I would say the like all white uniforms from the last group too. I don't like the Nike version of the last one. Like, can we do Mark Sanchez playoffs? Like, yeah, like this. Then this is my second favorite, probably. Or if I had to pick one that I saw, this would be my favorite. The white on the white is by far, I think, the best one. Yeah, I saw the tweet from Mikey because I have no idea who that guy is. So I have no like, is it a legitimate? Is there any legitimacy to what he had to say? I don't know. I can't say for certain. He did. To me, see, Keyshawn wore 19, but that's like a wide receiver number. I agree. I don't care if they wear pink, just win, baby. That's true. Oh boy. All right, I got this tweet sent to me. Let's see. I think it's fake, but here, I'm gonna have to put my headphones back on for this. So I think the video is fake, but let's pop them back on. Oh wait, oh nope, I'm sharing the wrong tab again. That's my fault.
When I saw Sauce Gardner, Brees Hall, and Garrett Wilson burn the cheesehead, when I saw Sauce Gardner, Brees Hall, and Garrett Wilson burn the cheesehead, I knew all was right in the world. The dark retreat was worth it, and becoming a New York Jet was destiny.
I love AI.
When I saw-
It's scary what you can do with AI. You guys see my DMs? That's not good. Nick Russo, not a fan of the white on white. Wrong take. Fake but crazy. Yeah, that's. Could you imagine? It is a funny audio. Kane Smith says, "Can we send Michael Clemens to Rodgers' house to scare him into coming?" Yeah, he'd come. The nose ring in, the black Air Forces on, and it'd be over. He likes the black on black. I do like the all black Jets jerseys too. That's black uniforms. Yeah, that's a good answer. I think they are a really nice alternate, especially with the black helmet too. Do we have one from this? There's got to be a picture one from this year. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, buddy, do I have good news for everyone in the chat right now? Let's bring them on. Jets chaos. Jeremy, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
How you made it down? You made it down. How you doing?
I am here. The flight was fine, but man, I got like 2 hours sleep, so we're like walking around like zombies. But we're here, so it's just good to be where you're gonna be. So I'm looking forward. We're like a few hours away from dinner, so I'm all excited about that. I'm getting a nice cheesesteak.
Ooh, that sounds good. Now, how do you? I know there's different ways to get a cheesesteak. Excuse me. What's your favorite way to get a cheesesteak?
I like it the original, traditional. I don't. It doesn't have to be whiz. I'll do whiz with the grilled onions and the whiz, but I could do the provolone, the American cheese, as long as just the grilled onions, and I don't want peppers, mayo, lettuce, or tomato anywhere near my cheesesteak.
No, you can't. No, absolutely not. We're not trying to be any. If you're eating a cheesesteak, you don't want to be healthy with it. Like, get the vegetables, get that the hell out of here.
Right.
So when is this going to come down, Jeremy? When are we going to find out what's going on?
Man, I'm trying to ignore all the Twitter. I don't care, even with the blue check marks. I don't care, because I know that there's 4 or 5 people on the Jets side. There's 4 or 5 people on Green Bay side, and there's Aaron Rodgers and his agent. And I don't think any of those people are talking to anyone. So I don't believe anything that I'm saying. I think that there must be an understanding that this needs to happen by Monday morning. I mean, I think Green Bay and the Jets definitely feel that way. And I would imagine Rodgers, if he's going to go to the Jets, wants them to be able to start the tampering period, on equal footing with everybody else. So I think it's going to happen, today, like definitely by Monday morning. Um, I really think it could happen at any moment. I really do believe it. Nothing will surprise me, but it's going to happen by tomorrow night. So just everybody's just got to hang in and stay cool, because I'm sure they're just fighting over little details like they always do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's always the little things. Apparently, we gave the people a big scare with how I reacted to you coming in the room. So apologies to everyone in the chat and everyone watching today. It's not the Aaron Rodgers news, but we do have Jets Chaos Jeremy in here hanging out with us. I agree with you. I don't know how you could possibly go into the legal tampering period, which starts Monday at noon, and not have an answer on who the hell your quarterback is going to be.
Yeah, yeah. I have a hard time believing um, that this is even on Aaron Rodgers. Every time I read that he hasn't decided yet, I don't believe that. I think the moment he met with us and had us fly out to see him, I think that is a very strong indicator that he wants to play for the New York Jets, and that this is just the moving parts of his contract and compensation for Green Bay. And there's just a lot of moving parts, and they're just probably just working it all out. And I think that 100% you see the Jets clearing this money right now, with all these different players and everything.
Right.
It's not a coincidence. Everything is linked to everything else.
Yeah, I forget. I saw it online earlier. I popped it up on the screen, but someone said like the Jets aren't, clearing out all this money for their health. Like they have a plan in place. I do think something does eventually get done, but the amount of just waiting around is starting to get a little bit much here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, but it's us doing it to ourselves, right? Because we decided this. We decided that because they met last week on Monday, we decided that that means it has to happen, and we have to go back. That plane has to fly back to New York with a deal. And, this is all just us. There's no reality. There's nobody real from either side, or Aaron Rodgers himself said this has to happen right away. So it's just all of us wanting it to happen. But the reality is, there's a lot of moving parts that have to be worked out on all sides. So, and you can imagine this is a tough negotiation between Green Bay and the Jets. They both need it to happen. They're both in a desperate situation, but so they're both afraid to walk away. Neither one is going to be willing to walk away, but they could be having a stare down contest right now over that compensation.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to mention, did you see, or are you up in the air for the Pelissero report with the where he was coming out? He basically said, I'll pull it up in case you didn't see it, so you know what I'm talking about here. But essentially, he says, despite a report to the contrary, the Packers and Jets have not agreed to the framework of a Rodgers trade per sources. Both sides continue to await word from Rodgers on his plan. If he decides he wants to go to New York, then the team will work to hammer out a deal. I'd have to imagine, though, that they have to have some idea for what they're going to end up doing in trade compensation if he wanted to go, though. No.
Yeah, I just don't know who those sources are. Like I don't trust that report, right? I mean, it's like it's very easy to get sources. You're not allowed to reveal them, so this way you're not a liar, and now you're drawing a lot of attention. I don't believe anything I don't hear directly from one of those three sides, right? Whether it's Rodgers' agent, the Jets, or Green Bay. If it's not coming from them, and they can't, and anybody who puts those kind of tweets out there, I don't care if they have the blue check, I don't care who they are, if they can't name the source, if it's not coming direct, I just don't believe it anymore. So I take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I think that's the right way to look at it. Honestly, the one who's been on this the most, I think, has been Diana Rossini from ESPN. I think she's been the one who's been the closest on this, but like Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter, they don't really have much info. It's like, yeah, it's just a waiting game at this point. That's what's been all week. All week we've heard, oh, it's just a waiting game. We're just waiting on what Aaron wants to do. So I guess we'll just sit here and wait now.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, the fact that he let them get on that private jet and come out to see him, I just don't believe that that's him not deciding. I think he wants to play for the Jets, but they got to work out the details and make it happen. I'm not saying it's definite, and he's not willing to walk away if it's not right. But I think the desire for him to play for the Jets, I think is very evident.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And, we've all talked about at length now for months how, the opportunity he would have if he were to come to the Jets with the defense already in place, young weapons on offense with Moore and Wilson and Brees Hall and all these guys, and, beefing up the offensive line. There's not really another place that he could go. I mean, Miami just gave Tua the fifth-year option, which is guaranteed. So he's locked in for the next 2 years. It feels like it's either retire or go to the Jets. I don't think Green Bay wants him back either by everything they've been pushing out. It's been very pro Jordan Love.
Oh, definitely not. And that's where I think our leverage comes in, because if they can't work out a deal with us and Aaron Rodgers goes, fine, I'll retire, that crushes Green Bay. I mean, we all know the salary cap, the hits they're going to take, the dead money that they're going to have. They need and they desperately want Aaron Rodgers to want to be a Jet. And that's JD's leverage, right? His leverage is you can't afford to have this fall short, and again, it's that stare down to contest, because you could say the same thing vice versa. If we walk out of there without a deal, Saleh and JD, whether we agree with it or not, or think it's fair or not, are going to be in danger. Their jobs will be in danger. There's no question about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm right there with you. I think that's something that some people don't get. Like, I don't understand how some people still think like, oh, the Packers are going to get some haul for Aaron Rodgers. They have the Jets bent over a barrel with their quarterback situation. I don't think so. I do think the Jets have the leverage because Rodgers could just be like, all right, I'm going to retire if you're not going to trade me. And then what do you do? Then you're really screwed.
Yeah, I think they're in for $99 million or something over the next 2 years. I don't know exactly how it works, but they're going to take a monster. It's going to be a monster hit for them financially, and that those people, that president and GM, they'll be in trouble. They'll be in danger. Their jobs will be at risk if this gets ugly for them,
Yep.
because they'll have to explain to their ownership, which is the fan base, how did they put themselves in this situation where they signed this crazy 3-year contract with them or whatever it is, with void years, with all this money. He plays 1 year, then they let him retire when there was an opportunity to trade him and avoid it and take just a tremendous financial hit, which is going to make it really hard for them to rebuild around Love for the next couple of years.
Right. Exactly. And that's obviously what their goal has to be. I just want to pull up a couple comments here and get into that. Let's see. Your take. Gangrene says, I can't believe anyone still thinks it's not a done deal. Most of these reporters are on the outside looking in with little to no solid info, and they're pissed about it. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like what you were kind of saying there, Jeremy. Like, no one really knows. And then Rodgers, the last time he was on McAfee, was all upset because someone had wrong info, and he was like, yeah, he basically said Schefter and Rappaport, nice people, they don't know shit about me. So who knows? Maybe something really is done. But it's the conflicting reports on this one that is it kind of just makes you scratch your head a little bit.
Yeah, if you ever want the stamp of even those guys, the guys we trust the most, like Rappaport, for the most part, 95% of his info is coming from agents. It's real. But even him, the moment Aaron Rodgers said that, that's a reality. That's something that we all have to hold on to. The moment Aaron Rodgers said he doesn't know what he's talking about, now you know that there's no one that for sure knows what they're talking about. So you can't sit there and believe everything is fact just because it's coming from them.
No, absolutely. And Wayne says, how can we go into free agency without an answer? Now that's a great point, and I agree. My question then becomes, is it Monday, the legal tampering period, that's the cutoff, or is it Wednesday, which is actually the technical start of free agency, where you're like, all right, we need the answer by? What do you think, Monday or Wednesday?
I think it's definitely Monday, because we all know that, again, 98% of those deals happen, right? I mean, we saw what happened with us and the dude from the Vikings a couple of years ago. But in reality, I mean, do you call it tampering? It's free agency Monday, because the deals are being made. The conversations are happening. The deals are being made. They're just not signing it officially till Wednesday. So to me, it has to be by Monday, because we need to go in, and so does Green Bay, with our strategy. We have to know what our cap looks like. We have to have all the information. Plus, who our quarterback is going to be is very, very important to how we approach free agency, obviously, because if it's not Aaron Rodgers, our first phone call has to be to some other guys. versus if it is Aaron Rodgers, this is our plan and these are the targets we have specifically for Aaron Rodgers. So also, I think Aaron Rodgers, if he, if it's true, if we're right with our, our gut that he wants to be a New York Jet, remember he wants to win a Super Bowl, so he doesn't want to hurt the team. He doesn't want to hurt his future team. He wants us to be in the best possible position, obviously, for him to win a Super Bowl. And I think he's an intelligent person. He's not stupid. He understands that we have to go into free agency knowing so we can make the right maneuvers.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Because then you're just, the longer you wait, the more you screw over whatever team you're going to go to. And in this instance, the Jets. So I'm with you. I think you're 100% on there. Nicholas says, your stamina is remarkable. I'm completely spent when it comes to the Rodgers topic, and I'm not streaming for hours day after day. Kudos. Jeremy, are you getting tired of the Rodgers content?
Definitely the content. I'm not exhausted because, to be honest, I haven't had to, except for, I had a little thing in the airport yesterday where I went on live because I noticed no one was on. I haven't, because I've been busy with work. I haven't really physically put in that many more hours of stream time. That's been you guys, but definitely tired of the topic. Very hard, because you want to talk about other things, but everything just seems so minor and so small and so dependent on this because it's, the quarterback position is so important. And we're talking about, Aaron Rodgers. So while it's obvious why we have to talk about it and why that has to be the focus, I'm definitely tired of talking about it and would love to start talking about the draft and start talking about just the other things that are happening, the contract restructures and what that means. I mean, normally, if it wasn't for this quarterback situation, if you look at the restructure of Lake and Tomlinson, that would be a huge point of discussion for everybody.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, the guy is now slated to make like $24 or $22 million in next year. That would be something we'd be talking about. But here we are, and it's just a blink in the eye. It's like, if it's to clear up space for Aaron Rodgers, we're not even blinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. I have started my free agency prep, but I haven't really put out too many videos on like external free agents that I want the Jets to go after because it's all dependent and contingent on the quarterback. So between that and the draft and what picks you'll have, if you have to potentially give up picks in a Rodgers trade, it's all you're waiting on him pretty much. And that's it. So I would be very happy to have this come to a close. It's been fun. I've loved it, but enough is enough at this point. Matthew chimes in. He goes, I got 7 days off of work. Do you think Rodgers will be a Jet by the time I go back to work? So that would be a week from now. I would sure as hell hope so. I think the absolute, as we've been saying, Monday, Wednesday, maybe. Like, I really would hope so in the next 7 days here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat. I'm off work too. I'm here in North Carolina, so this is the perfect week for it to happen because I have the time and the flexibility. So, I've been hoping the whole time, just wait till I get there. So I'm in a position to like be somewhere when it happens. Like right now, I'm excited because if it happened right now, I would love it. It would be epic for me to be like on your stream the moment we get the news.
Oh my God. Yeah, sign me up for that. Be live here for the Rodgers news would be absolutely fantastic. For me, yeah, I'm going to Boston for St. Patrick's Day weekend, but I'm leaving on Thursday. So I just need it to be done by absolutely like Wednesday. I need all my stuff wrapped up with a bow. I'm bringing my laptop and stuff so I can go live from Boston Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But I need this quarterback situation to be figured out first before that. I think it will, but the longer this goes, the more stressed I get about, oh my God, like, are we not going to have an answer? I'm going to be traveling on Thursday and like something's going to happen here.
Yeah, it would also, I got to say, there would be an amusing aspect to you having to go live while you're partying on St. Patrick's Day weekend.
Yeah,
you're drunk off your butt.
That would be a interesting live stream. I'd have wherever I am, I have to whatever bar, I have to make my way back to the hotel room, just fire up the live stream and get going. But I don't think it'd be the most coherent Matt O'Leary live stream that we've ever had. I agree.
That'd be great.
Oh man, this one, Mekhi Becton retweeted this, which made me laugh, and I think it's very accurate. Says right now, Jets fans, wake up, check Twitter. 11 a.m. workout and send a picture to Becton. 12 p.m. lunch and refresh Twitter. 2 p.m. throw shade at media takes on Aaron Rodgers. 5 dinner and rewatch the Sauce Gardner YouTube video for hints. 8 p.m. realize that today isn't the day. 3 a.m. still refreshing Twitter. This sounds pretty damn accurate to me, what I've been going through the last 4 days or so. No?
You know what's even funnier is what's his guy? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. He's like the biggest NFL guy on YouTube. He's the Green Bay Packer fan. That guy, Tom Grossi or whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So Tom Grossi put out a video of life as a Green Bay fan the last 2 months, and it is exactly identical to the life of a Jets fan, and that's what's so funny.
Yeah, literally, there's been Packers fans in the chat, on some of these days that we've been going through and doing this, and it's like we're in the same boat. I feel like the Jets want it to be over. The Packers fans are ready to move on. They want it to be over too, and it's literally just on the shoulders of one guy. He just has to make the call and say, "All right, I'm ready. We can do it. We're official. We can move on." But until then, I don't. Who the hell knows?
It's so funny, just to sit and wait and wait and wait and wait. And it's scary to think about if it didn't happen. And I think even though I'm so confident, like I feel that it's so much really going to happen, and I'm probably like 90% certain this is just details and negotiations of these little possible contract restructure, trade compensation. As much as I feel that way, there still is that feeling of I'm a Jets fan, and there's that dark cloud, and there's that it's so also easy to believe that we could be the laughing stock again because we've felt that sting so many times.
You're 100% right, because if this goes south, there are so many videos, whether it's the Sauce Gardner video, the live stream, the tweets from all the Jets players begging him to come, the fans for a week going nuts. That would be pretty bad. That would be pretty bad. I don't even want to think about it right now. But I like this one from Zachary. So did you see Buffalo Wild Wings tweet? I did not. So we'll pull that up on the screen. We'll see what they said. And they said, Aaron Rodgers package deal details Sauce Gardner's exclusive sauce, wings, and cheese curds on us. If that doesn't get it over the top, I don't know what will, Jeremy.
I would be doing it for the I know you love wings. I'd be doing it for the wings.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially some garlic parm.
Oh, I love me some garlic parm wings. You know me too well. Pierre says, Matt, I want to witness you pop the champagne. So if you don't know, from Thursday, I've been sitting on this bottle that's ready to pop on the live stream for when the Rodgers announcement gets made. But it's starting to get warm. We don't like this, and I can't put it on ice. Phil Adams was in the chat before saying put it on ice. So the ice is going to melt by the time this thing comes through. So I want to pop it too, Pierre. But who the hell knows?
Just don't get it all over your equipment. Like if it explodes.
I've somehow managed to be okay during the draft, because that's kind of been our draft gimmick. We did it with the picks in the first round usually. Last year's was great because I wrote on it in Sharpie edge at 4, and then I crossed it out and wrote sauce underneath it at 4, and then I popped it anyway. So it was fine. We made it work out.
That's great.
Jack says Matt will be live from some random Boston bar's bathroom reacting to the Rodgers news. Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm gonna be in my Irish sweater and my newsboy hat, just hammered off Jameson, just ripping on Rodgers. Have to be, like, what's the Wi-Fi password? Got to get everything going. But yeah, that's my fear here, and it's the more this goes on, the greater this fear becomes for me.
It would be the funniest moment, like on your channel, you drunk and everything, and from a bar, since your tryout video.
That's a great one. That was I think my favorite one that I've done. That's a good one.
That was classic, man. Everybody loved that one. That was great. We talked about that forever.
Brian chimes in. He goes, 0% chance Rodgers isn't loving watching us sweat. I agree. I think he is getting all the joy out of this attention. Do you think that too?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and that's another thing. He probably wants it like when it happens, I'm thinking positively now. He wants it exposed, like announced a certain way, because he, feeds anybody's ego when you know that you're going to be so welcome somewhere and there's going to be such celebration. It's kind of hard not to think about how you want it to happen.
Yeah.
Which is part of the reason why I don't believe anything that's going on with those guys, because he, as much as anyone, has shown that he wants privacy during this, and he doesn't want anyone to know anything until he's ready for us to know.
He has the entire NFL world, not only the Packers and the Jets, but the whole NFL world is just waiting on this guy's decision. And he's just sitting there and like, hey, I'm thinking it over, man. That's all. That's it. I'm just thinking. I thought the darkness retreat was so that he would become more clarity on what he wants from the future. He's had his time to refresh from that. He's met with what else? What is going to change from today to Monday to whenever that's going to help him decide what he wants to do? That's my question.
Well, he may have already told them, I want to be a Jet, make it happen. And what's happening right now is the Jets are talking to Green Bay and they're not able to work out that deal yet. It's a stare down. So we don't know for sure that he hasn't made his decision. I personally think he has. I think the fact that he was talking to the Jets means he went to Green Bay and he said, I want to play for the Jets. But obviously with contingencies on how the conversation works out, and he needed to meet them and do his due diligence. But I honestly believe that he wants to play. He wants to play for the Jets. I don't believe when I'm hearing that he hasn't made his decision. I think it's 100% those other aspects. There's no way that we're not trying, that JD is not trying to restructure that contract to avoid the 25 and 26 dead cap hit.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It would have been bizarre, I think, anyway, if they were able to meet with him and not have some framework of a trade worked out, right? Like that's all along what I was saying is this is like the same situation with Derek Carr and the Saints a few weeks ago. The reason why he was able to meet with the Saints first before everyone else is because they had the trade worked out in place. Like why? Otherwise, it'd just be tampering. I don't know. I'm with you, man. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think there's a chance that before we went out and spoke to him, they said, there was a basic understanding of like before, like the pre-negotiation of what are you looking for? Like to make sure they weren't being unreasonable. Like, if they said, oh, we're looking for 3, number ones over the next 3 years, we would have said, we're not wasting our time going out and talk to them if you're going to start there. There may have been some agreements of where they're starting at. And then then there was definitely contingencies. Okay, we're not going to agree to anything until we speak to Aaron Rodgers ourselves. We want to feel him out. Is he going to stay for 2 years? Is he going to stay for 1 year? Is he willing to restructure the contract or is he not? These things are going to impact what we're willing to give. Yeah. So we might have a basic general framework of if everything was perfect, this is what we would give you. But there would be contingencies to say, if we're not confident he's playing more than 1 year, then maybe we're going to come down to this. And if we can't restructure them, then we're coming down to this. So there might be some of those kind of things at play. And now they might be arguing over, because a lot of that is subjective, right? So they might be arguing over a lot of that for all we know. Like, we don't think he's going to play more than 1 year. We're not sure he's going to play 2 years. And Green Bay's arguing that and saying, well, what makes you so sure of that? I mean, who knows? It could be any of those things because it's so different than most negotiations because there are 3 parties involved.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's gonna be challenging, and that's definitely part of it. Let's go to Vladdy P, who says, if it's not Rodgers, then who will it be realistically? It won't be Lamar. The Ravens will match Jimmy G. Come on, man. So damn pissed. I think Jimmy is probably the most realistic option after that. I really do think it's going to be Rodgers, but if for whatever reason something catastrophic happens, I think it would be Jimmy, which I don't know how you feel on it, but that'd be a pretty big letdown after everything we just went through the last few weeks.
It would feel like a huge letdown. And again, it would have to change our strategy because if obviously Jimmy G is not Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's had the injury history. We all know it. We all understand that. we can't go in with Mike White and Zach Wilson as our quarterbacks, right? And Jimmy G knows the offense. He knows the system. He knows the coaches. I think that if it's going to be Jimmy G, if that was to happen, I don't think it will, but if it did, we might have to change our strategy on who our backup quarterback is. Like, because of his injury history, I don't know if they're willing to have Zach be the number 2 to a Jimmy G if they don't believe Zach is ready and he truly needs a year of not playing and developing. So that might involve bringing in yet another quarterback like a Gary Minshew or Gary. I keep saying Gary, like a Minshew or I don't know about Jacoby, Jameis Winston, like someone real as a backup, number QB2.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I'm also kind of worried, like, what kind of contract is Jimmy going to be able to, like, is he going to get a bag now too? Are you going to have to pay him $30 million a year? Which I don't know how much I love pivoting to that with his injury history, which is, again, has been a big issue. Now, I didn't see this tweet until now, but Chris Hare, who is a reporter out in Orange County, shared this tweet where, as the NFL world awaits about his future, Aaron Rodgers is in Orange County this morning for his celebrity flag football game. Several quarterbacks here, including Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, Matt Leinart, and ZTR. More tonight. Can we get him in like an isolated area and be like, make up your freaking mind? I love the charity work. That's great. But I need to know, is that too much of an asshole move to be like, I don't care about your charity right now, I need an answer from you? Probably, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Maybe, maybe his answer's there. Maybe he's waiting for the Jets and Green Bay to close the deal.
I really hope so.
To me, if he's somewhere else right now, either he trusts his agents, and they know exactly what they want, and he just completely has trusted his agent to finish this and do it, or it could just mean that Rodgers is like, it's done. I want to play for the Jets, but now the Jets have to work it out with Green Bay. It's very possible that it's just Green Bay and the Jets right now sitting across each other at a negotiation table.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a super chat from AbLab. Shout out to AbLab Studios, always hanging out with us. He goes, gang, just had a debate. If AR comes and wins back-to-back Super Bowls and then retires, where would he sit on the list of iconic New York sports players? Behind Jeter and Messier? Let's go, Aaron. Stop being weird. He would have to be really high up on that list. Now, I don't think he could surpass Jeter just because of, he played his entire career with the Yankees and won four or five rings with the Yankees, however many it was. But he's just got to be up there with, Messier and someone who's came in later in his career and won with that team. That would be iconic. That he'd be. Would that surpass Namath for the Jets if he won 2 Super Bowls?
It's hard to pass Namath because of the importance of that game.
Yep.
Right. I mean, that game, it's not just the Jets, it's the NFL. It's how it, helped shape what the NFL is today. It's such an important game in the history of football in the NFL. But it's hard to compare across sports as well. I mean, NFL is much bigger than hockey, as much as we might like hockey. I like hockey. It's no disrespect to the NHL, the sport of hockey, but let's face it, the NFL is much bigger.
Of course.
So I think it puts him above Messier. I think it's pretty close to Namath. Like, to come into the Jets organization, which has just been abused, beat up, disrespected, been considered a joke. If he was to come here and win a Super Bowl, it would be as close to Namath as you can be.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's hard to surpass Namath because you're right. The guarantee, that what it meant for the merger of the leagues, like, that is such a huge deal. But man, he's right up there. You can make a strong case for it, that sounds crazy to me, but yeah, just win one. I'd be happy with 1. 2, great. The more the merrier, but just get me that 1, please. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's hard to really think about a second because you've been waiting. I mean, we're all at different levels. You're much younger than me, and you've waited a long time because it's a big percentage and portion of your life.
Right.
So, but I've been waiting for 42 years. So
Yeah.
And I was born a year after we won Super Bowl III, so I was not alive for that. So it's so big, it's hard to even wrap around, get your arms around how big of a deal it is. I'm sure for all Jet fans, whether you've been a fan for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years, it's big for all of us.
Yeah, and like for someone even like my dad who's been a Jet fan, for forever, but he was like maybe 6, 7 when they won. So like he doesn't really have like that great. He was alive, but he doesn't have like the greatest memory of it because you're so young at the time. He's been waiting around forever too. I feel I've been waiting around a long time, but like people like you and Green Bean, who's just been going through it and have been starved for something, and even just this massive playoff drought. It's been 12 years since they've last made the playoffs. It's unforgivable, and they really need to get over the hump there. To start with that, make the playoffs, and then take that thing to the next level.
Yeah, this is as long in my memory. I'm trying to remember. I think it's in my life as a Jets fan, it's the longest we've been without a playoff berth. Because I'm thinking in the early 80s, we were there, up until kind of even 86. And then we were back by within 10 years because of the 90s with Parcells.
Right.
And then 2004 with Herm Edwards, and then 2009 and 10, with Rex Ryan years. So I think this is the longest run that it's ever been without us being in the playoffs, except for maybe, I think the 70s, it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But that's not really in my memory. So for me, this has been the worst. This is the worst 12 years as I've ever experienced as a Jet fan.
Absolutely. MJ Dunn says, look, if it wasn't for all the injuries, the O-line and Brees last year, we were in the playoffs with any of the 3 quarterbacks we played, even Zach. Probably. So that just goes to show what you get a quarterback the level of Aaron Rodgers can do for this team. That has to put you in the conversation for contention in the AFC, right? That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, I mean that's what I try to tell people. Well, even my family here in North Carolina that aren't necessarily Jet fans. I mean, my parents really aren't into football, and some of my extended family. I'm trying to explain to them that it's not just he's coming to a 7-10 team. He's coming to a team when they were healthy, was on their way to being a playoff team with very little at quarterback. 32nd in the NFL in quarterback play. So it's a team that was already built to be or was on its way to being a playoff team, and now you're taking the biggest jump and improvement in the most important position.
Yeah, it's going to make all the difference in the world. You have the defense is there. Offensively, you have the weapons. You just need that quarterback, and even if it's in a small 2-year window, you give yourself a hell of a shot to win in the next 2 years, which is really what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine, assuming in the draft we're going to address the offensive line to some extent, Becton being healthier and looking great right now. Like the offensive line is, I think we could all agree if we're paying attention, the offensive line is going to be better than it was last year. And regression to the means says that we're not going to get beat up as much with injuries because you're going to regress back to the average of the league. So it's safe to assume, and it's pretty likely, our offensive line is going to be a lot better. If our defense is still a top 5 defense and we have Aaron Rodgers, so you have a top 5 defense, Aaron Rodgers with Brees Hall back and a better offensive line, Garrett Wilson with more experience. I mean, it's just impossible to sit there and not believe that we're capable of winning every single game we play in.
Yeah. Right. And this is kind of what Brian is saying right here with this chat, which I think is worthy to bring up. Imagine if the offense makes the same jump the defense made last year. Yeah, you were looking at a defense that was 32 in the league last year, and they were jumped up and they were a top 5 unit. Now, the Jets offense was pretty putrid for most of last year, especially after Brees Hall went down. And could they make that? I don't know if they would go all the way up to like a top 5 unit because there are some electric offenses in this league, but even if they're a top 10 unit, I think that's enough. I think top 10 offense is more than enough to, like, as you said, win a bunch of games because of who you have at quarterback. You can go toe to toe with anybody.
Yeah, there's no question about it. If we come in as a top 10 offense and a top 5 defense, we are in the conversation We're definitely one of the teams. Like in the AFC, we're one of the 4 teams most likely to make the Super Bowl. I don't see how anybody can argue that if you have a top 5 defense and an offense that takes that kind of jump with an experienced quarterback who has won in the playoffs and has even won the Super Bowl. I just don't see any argument. I don't see any doubt about it. We have every right as Jet fans to sit there and truly believe, it's not a long shot, truly believe that we are a real contender to win the Super Bowl.
It's crazy. You're spot on, but it sounds crazy after everything we've been through the last little bit here. Justin Thomas chimes in, says Jets currently have 23.5 million in cap space and still haven't restructured Mosley, JFM, Whitehead, and Brown. We potentially, with cuts of Lawson and Davis, could have upwards of 60 plus in cap space. Yeah. I want to ask you, of the guys listed off here by Justin, and thank you for the super chat here, Justin. Do you think any more of these guys get restructured? And do you agree that Lawson and Davis are cuts, or what do you think here?
I think Lawson's going to be a restructure.
Me too.
I think there's a chance that Corey Davis will be a restructure. I think that the person most likely to be cut, in my opinion, I'm not saying it's going to happen, especially with the trade we made with Baltimore, is Whitehead. Because Whitehead, we put $7 million. We gained $7 million of space. So if he's not willing to restructure and renegotiate, I wouldn't be shocked at all if he was cut. I mean, it's $7 million. We got Clark. We still have, they love Adams. We know they love Tony Adams, and we still have the draft ahead of us. So it wouldn't shock me at all. What an easy way to add $7 million to our cap. He was disappointing last year. There's no other way to say it. He was disappointing. Now, I would love for him to restructure because I think that the thing that made him disappointing is very coachable. I think that it wasn't his ability. It was the trying to go for the big hits and not focusing on the fundamentals of football and wrapping his arms. And I think it's very coachable.
Yeah, I'm with you there. He's frustrating though. The missed tackles get very frustrating after a while. So I think there's a world where they could move on from Whitehead because that would save them the money. And I do think that Chuck Clark, while he can play either strong or free safety, I think he's better as a box safety, which is kind of what Whitehead does. To me, Mosley's definitely going to get restructured. $21 million cap hit. I don't see that sticking. JFM, I think, is 12.5. So maybe he gets restructured, but that's one that I'm not super worried about. Lawson, I agree, I think is a restructure candidate. I thought he was fine last year for the Jets. Well, he wasn't, phenomenal, the guy we thought we were getting back in 2021, but more time healing, I think he'll be okay. Davis, I think it's time to move on. The injuries are really a concern for me. He's missed a ton of time over the last 2 years. And I would just look to go a different direction there. I think is just, it didn't work out. You shrug, you say, we gave it a good shot, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be wise to bring him back.
As long as they have a replacement plan.
That's exactly. I'm not saying cut him just to cut him, but if but you find somebody else in the draft or free agency. Vladdy P wants to tank for Caleb Williams. He said, if no Rodgers, tank for Caleb. If he gets here, even with playing all the guys, he'll be on a rookie deal. Jimmy G won't do shit for us. I in no way, shape, or form want to be tanking this upcoming year. Do you want to be in a spot where you're tanking for a number 1 pick?
Oh my God. Are you kidding me? I've had enough of that. Like, I can't bear. The Trevor Lawrence thing, that was the last time I hope that I ever have to root for the Jets to lose. Yep. I can't even fathom being in the position of wanting them to tank. So I really hope not. I really don't want to even think about that possibility.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Cho chimes in. This one, the super chat made me laugh. Talking about Garoppolo aggravates my hemorrhoids. He says. Oh God. Justin Thomas back with another super chat. 3 players to watch: free agency center Ben Jones, linebacker Aziz Al-Shir, and defensive tackle Pona Ford. of this group, is there anyone that sticks out? I think the Ben Jones one makes some sense with when you consider, he was just there in Tennessee with Todd Downing. And if you move on from McGovern, who's a free agent, this could be a good like stopgap, have a young guy develop behind him for a year or two. But does anyone else on this list jump out?
It's definitely Ben Jones for me, to be honest. There's no question about it. Ben Jones would do a couple of things. It takes a lot of pressure off the draft, and lets us focus in on other positions. We could still take in the 4th or 5th rounds. There will be developmental centers to be had, guys that you might not be able to trust to start plug and play year one, but we could put in the pipeline. So we could still make a move for after Jones, but it would be a great signing for us. Like, it would be great if we bring him in at a reasonable contract. That's definitely the most attractive thing to me. Anytime, just like getting Clark, anytime you could take the pressure off of a position in the draft, it allows us. And I think you're the one that said it first to me, and set my mind to when you think of certain specialty positions like running back, luxury picks, right?
Mhm.
So obviously we're not taking a running back, but to me, there are some luxury picks that would be really nice. Like we were just talking about, if we release Corey Davis, wide receiver becomes a sneaky secret little need for us.
Yep.
And also, Curry might go if Lawson doesn't stay. Suddenly, because it's such a strong draft with edge, we take away the need for those other positions. Suddenly, we could sneak in there and grab another edge.
Right. No, you're 100%. That alleviating those kinds of needs where you go into the draft, and you're like, you got to come out with one of those guys that's going to be really big for this team. So we're about the 2-hour mark. So before we hop out of here, what do you got going on in NC this week? Now that you're off, I know you're doing the Philly cheese tonight, but I'm very curious what's on the agenda for this trip here.
I'm embarrassed to admit it, but it's pretty much all based around food. But there's a lot of, I have my other channel, Cravat Attack, where we're reviewing the food. So there's a lot of things because my brother's here that we want to review together, that we're reviewing the same thing and, in videos. So there's going to be a lot of that. We're going to probably drive over to Charlotte. It's about an hour and 40-minute drive, and visit my nephew and hit some breweries over there. So it's more of a relaxing vacation, time with the family, just enjoy good food. I'm going to catch up with Watts K99, for Adam. He's visiting his mom here. He always plans his trips around me being here. and then we have, Chode Ugla, who was formerly Knob.
Okay.
He's out here and he wants us to come to his hotel. He's a chef for the restaurant there. So a few fun things.
There we go. Love it. Good stuff. Before we hop out, one last quick one. Ablab sent in a super chat, so I want to get to him. Says, do you think AR is still going to be pretentious ass when he comes here? I mean, he knows we don't play that ish in New York, right? I don't think he's going to change. I think he's going to be the way that he is. I just don't think if they're winning games, does it really matter? That's kind of what I wanted to go with. If they're winning games, I don't see the New York media being an issue. Do you have any concern about Aaron Rodgers here in New York, Jeremy?
I don't, because it's only about winning. And even though he has that perception and comes off that way, everything I hear is that he works his tail off. He's a great leader. He's competitive, wants to win, loves his teammates. His teammates are very loyal to him. Those are the things I hear. So I'm not really worried about it. I don't care what he says to the media. I could not care less. Just put us in contention for a Super Bowl. That's all I care about.
Amen. I think that's the perfect way to end it. Jeremy, thank you for coming on and hanging with us here for the last little bit. Appreciate you taking the time. Thank you to everyone who joined to watch for day 5 of Aaron Rodgers. Watch back tomorrow. Get to do it again for day 6, unless something happens here. I'm Matt O'Leary. We'll talk to you next time.